On this episode of the Nationwide Real Estate Mastery Podcast, we sat down with Zhang to uncover exactly how to flip land in today's market. Welcome to the Nationwide Real Estate Mastery Podcast, where we provide actionable steps to help you get your first or next real estate deal. Now, during this episode, you'll discover exactly how to flip land in today's market. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, my name is Sean Young, today's host, and I love all things real estate. Now, before I introduce you to our incredible guest speaker today, I want to make a request that if at any point in the show you like what you're hearing, please give us a thumbs up or subscribe to the show so that you never miss an episode. And make sure to take a look in the description of this episode, as we've packed it with thousands of dollars in free resources. Now, today, we have the privilege to learn from a man whose biggest success is learning how to flip land on his spare time. Now, prior to his career in real estate, he was a car dealer. But all that changed when he decided that he wanted to do something better with his spare time and got involved in real estate. I would describe our next guest as someone who's passionate about life and real estate. I want to introduce you all to the one, the only, Zhang. Ray, thanks for being a guest on today's show.
Hey, Sean, how are you doing?
Hey, brother, how's it going?
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Did I pronounce your last name correctly, brother?
You're close, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, man, it's a pleasure to have you, man. I know you. I've gotten a chance to get to know you over the past couple of months, man, and you are definitely an awesome individual. But can you tell our listeners a little bit about your background and and how you got started here?
Of course. I came to the country about 10 years ago. That's when I started to learn English. So if you couldn't understand me, maybe I can speak Chinese to you. So, but anyways, so I came to the States 10 years ago. I remember I was homeless one point, and I was sitting. Actually, I was laying on a bench, listening to my mentor Tom Crow talking. He was in real estate. He was a coach about wholesaling. He was very passionate about real estate. I told myself, I still remember, I said, I wish someday I could be able to meet him. And 10 years later, I was able to meet him in person. But with his influence, I was able to get into real estate about 3 or 4 years ago. And I found my niche, which is land flipping.
Man, what an awesome story, brother. From rags to riches is like, that's what this sounds like this story is going to pan out to be, brother. So you were actually homeless at one point. You came to
Correct.
This country. You didn't know how to speak the language, persevered, learned English, got into real estate. I mean, you heard about this guy, Tom Crow, and you told yourself, one day I'm gonna meet this guy. And you basically drew that into your life and made it happen. Awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but it's all taking practice, right? And at the beginning, when I first learned English, I can still remember I was just kept talking, and people thought I was a crazy some sort, But with real estate, it's the same thing. You just keep practicing, and one day you will master it, and you're not super far away from the deals.
Absolutely. Now, Ray, before we dive into the steps on how to flip land on your spare time, you contribute a lot of your success to your ability to negotiate and make accurate offers. Why do you think this has played such a huge role in your success?
Because when we send offers, if we send too high, the seller probably will call you like crazy. Right. Mm-hmm. And if you tell them, I'm sorry, I couldn't do that price, we have to be lower, and majority of the seller will be very disappointed. But if you send your offer too low, the seller probably will never call you back because they thought I'm not going to sell my land for such a low price. So you will never hear back from them. Mm-hmm. So the correct offer is the key. So I plug in this in my system whenever I do it myself or when I teach my students. I teach him a specific system to follow to make offers. There's an equation, there's a formula. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. So that's the first thing about offers. And the second thing about negotiation. And when the offer comes back, a lot of people get excited. They think, oh, I'm going to have a deal. That could be a deal, but it's not your maximum profit deal. What I mean is you left a lot of money on the table, and what you can do instead is when the offer comes back, that that's just a signal that seller is willing to sell it at the price you're asking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means they are motivated. And what you do next is crucial, which is negotiate with the seller again. So you call them back and then you negotiate, especially with the land. There is some natural disadvantage about the land. Maybe there's trees on the land, maybe there's weeds on the land, and maybe there's no water or sewer or septic or power on the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty much the common thing. It's a lot easier than houses. So that's why we can scale this nationwide. You can do land anywhere. You can do that. You can do land flip farm anywhere too. So you don't need to be your local area. But negotiation is key. Just for example, I just nailed a deal. I sent an offer out for 13,000.
Mm-hmm.
I can easily sell that land for 24,000. But I talked to the seller. We used some negotiation skills or tactics.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to get that land to 1,000. So
Wow.
I bought that land for $1,000, and that's the magic of negotiating.
Man, Ray, that is awesome, brother. That is a huge dive in the price that was initially brought out, man, bringing that down to $1,000. That's amazing, man. Now let me ask you this, Ray. I know that right now you are the land man right now. You are the when it comes to land flipping and learning how to do land, you are definitely the man. But what was your first deal? Was it a land deal or was it a wholesale deal?
You mean the very first deal
Yep,
or
your very first
okay.
real estate deal.
Okay. So it was actually a land deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined this program and I paid the huge amount of mentorship fee, which is about 70,000
Mm-hmm.
back then. Um, so they were teaching about how to do terms deals, which means you buy a land for something like 1,000 and they sell it on terms, uh, which you get about 150 cash flow every month
Mm-hmm.
from the term sale. But I didn't really like it because when you post a land for such a low price, a lot of people will just message you, "Is this available?" And they're gone the next day, right? So they're nowhere to be found. Um, I know right away that model was not for me because I want to accumulate as much cash as possible at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can choose my rental platform to distribute my cash, and then maybe I can use the money to buy apartments, right? I don't have to buy a land and do the term sale. So I was like, how can I change the model a little bit, and but I can still sell a lot of deals? So I thought about a lot of people is currently doing that. They buying a land and they sell on terms. So
Mm-hmm.
we call them uh terms guys, right? Term sale guys. So what I did is I go to the specific area the terms guy wants. So I go to an area in Colorado, and what I did is I mail it to every single landowners and who has more than 5 lots at the same time. And when they call me back, I tell them I want to buy all of your land. What's the best you can do?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I hit a jackpot, and there's a guy who has more than 200 lots at the same area. I bought almost all of his land for, very cheap price for 1,000 or 1,100 each. And then I turned around to sold that to the terms guys for 2,500 each. So that's a quick flip, about 1,400 each profit, and I did about 150, 140 of them in 4 months. So that
Nice.
was my first deals.
Nice, brother. Nice, man. What
Yeah.
an introduction into land, man. That is huge. There was a huge piece that you mentioned there as well. You said you spent $70,000 on your first coach. That's huge. That's huge. So you were definitely invested in your success. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I would always tell people the free advice is the most expensive advice. So if you choose to be cheap and go to um, YouTube and learn yourself, that's
Mhm.
fine. You could one day master the skill, right?
Yep.
But you will lose lot of money, maybe even more than the mentorship fee, trying different things, and failing a lot of different things at the
Uh,
same time.
I'd agree 100%. 100%. Now, for our listeners out there, what makes the Nationwide Real Estate Mastery Podcast show unique is that each show comes with detailed, actionable steps to help you get your first or next deal. That way, you can pull these steps out of the show, create a blueprint on exactly how to implement what we're covering today. All you guys have to do is visit the link that Ray has generously provided for us today to get the key takeaways and the giveaways that he's offered for our audience. Now, as many of you guys know, our podcast show is a show that allows our guests to get all the information they need. So make sure that you guys are engaged. You hit that like button because it's for you guys that we keep doing this for the audience for absolutely free. So, Ray, let me ask you this, brother. Before the show, you broke down some steps that people can actually take to get into land. What would be the first step that someone needs to take if they're interested in getting into land? What's the right way to do it?
The first step is definitely market selection. So when where you go to do land, that's a crucial start. There are some ways we can do that. For example, you can go to Zillow or Redfin and just choose, on the filter side, you can choose sold within the last 6 months and choose only land and just try to see where the yellow dots, in on Zillow, yellow dots means there's a sold property there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So try to look at where the yellow dots concentrates. And then that could be a market. I mean, it's not that complicated. Wherever there's a lot of activities, that's where you want to go. And I got a lot of questions about this. I don't like competition. I don't want to go to areas that concentrated.
Okay.
So there are a lot of concerns about that, which is totally understandable. I was one time thought about it, but here's what my mentor told me, which is Tom Crow said this. So when you want to open a diamond store, are you going to open your diamond store on the streets full of diamond stores, or you want to open your diamond store in the desert, or in the middle of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course you will choose the first one. So don't be afraid of competition. And if you go to the super competitive area, there's like hundreds of sold within the last 6 months, right? Just think about this. Why not? Why cannot it be you, right? So why one of the dots cannot be you, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
I like that, man. Great analogy. If people are out there doing it, making it happen, why can't I do it? And I'm gonna tell you guys that are my listeners out there. I believed in Ray just as well, and you guys know that I'm a coach. I run my own businesses, but Ray is he's the land man, and I wanted to add that to my uh cup of tea, so to speak. I want to add that to my investment strategies. And Ray was the person who I went to for that. And in a very short amount of time, I've got an opportunity on the table that could yield a potential $25 to $35,000. So what Ray is talking about is 100% real deal. It is the truth. Now, Ray, now that someone has gotten a market, they've kind of determined where to do business. What would be the next step that someone would take?
The next step could be how to make your offers. A lot of people stuck here because they thought they could be very complicated. I've never figured out, but it's not that complicated. So I did an interview with Joe McCall. If you want to know more about systemly how to make offers, you can watch that interview with me and Joe McCall. I basically show you how I did it. So that could be the next step after market selection.
Absolutely. So that's knowing how to talk to those folks, guys. Now, Ray, let me ask you this. I know that homes are a little bit, that land is a little bit different from homes, and you kind of touched on it a little bit. But what does the negotiation piece look like? Because there's no emotional attachment to land, is there?
A lot of people, I would say, there definitely is less attachment than houses. So, when you go into a house, the owner has memories. They have maybe good memories, maybe bad memories, but they're emotionally attached to the house. But when did you hear about a guy living on their land for 20 years? Probably not, right? So a lot of people bought the land in foreign states. I mean, like out of their own states. For example, they live in New York. They bought a land in Florida a couple of years ago, and they thought they are going to retire in Florida and build a house there.
Mm-hmm.
That was their plan. And but over the years, their plan changes. Maybe they don't want to move there anymore, so they don't have emotion attached to their land. Sometimes it's even negative emotions because imagine you're in New York, your land is in Florida, your grass grow and there's weeds, there's trees, and the city don't want to see that, right? They will give you something called nuisance lien, or they give you some sort of fine
Mm-hmm.
to have you cut the trees. But you are in New York, how can you cut the trees in Florida? So you're just keeping those, you have to pay the fine, you have to pay the property taxes. So they don't like their land anymore. They hate their land because they want to get rid of it. So that's why I was able to get a land for sometimes such a very low price. Because when you're talking to them, you kind of feel why they want to sell. And it's not like we try to take advantage of them. It just we try to help them, and in the process, we make money.
Indeed, man. I love that, man. Great perspectives and great points to point out. What does your organization look like today? How are you able to handle all this stuff that you're doing with the land? Do you have a team? Is it just you?
I do mostly of the job. I should retire myself, but there's not really a lot of work on land because right now I would say I spend about 2 to 3 hours a day on my land business. The main thing for me is taking calls. I have to call them back and negotiate. That's about it. I mean, when you go to the more expensive land, which I'm doing right now, um, because everything else is handled by the title company, the realtor, and all the other people. They are not on my team though, but they help me close the deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Are you guys using like I mean, how many hours a day does this take for a one man show? Is this 3, 4, 5 hours a day you're doing this, or how many hours you
Yeah.
spending?
Yeah. About 2 to 3 hours. I have a VA though. But he doesn't work too much. We do it together.
Understood. Over this since the beginning of the year, Ray, I know that you've made a huge impact in the land market. What are your earnings this year? Like what are you guys looking at?
We're pretty close to 1 million right now, net profit.
Mhm.
Um, with because we are in multiple markets.
Mm-hmm.
So this year has been very good, but I do see some slowdown because of the market inflation and everything else. There is some uncertainty on the market.
Mm-hmm.
The land don't sell as fast as about 6 months ago, but there's still activities. Even in the the depression or recession time, we can still buy and sell land because there are people buying and there's still people selling. And remember, our offer price is based on the sold price. If you watch if you watch the interview with me and Joe McCall,
Mm-hmm.
our offer price is based on the sold price. So we are not really affected by the recession because even if there's a recession and all the price of the land drop, but we buy based on the dropped sold price. So we are not super affected.
That is huge. That is huge, Ray. That was going to lead into another question that I was going to ask that I'm sure my audience wanted to know, which was, are you worried if the market takes a dip? And you've just addressed that point right now.
Yeah. And unless there is absolutely nothing, yeah, I mean, nobody is buying or selling anymore, which I doubt it, right? And even in 2008, there are people buying and selling. So it just depends on what price. So our offer price is crucial. And another thing is how you negotiate is crucial too. So if you combine that together, I don't see any way that you could lose your money.
Nice, nice. What's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned getting into the land flipping business, Ray?
I think my moment of aha moment was when I realized I don't have to do the cheaper deals. Meaning you buy a land for like 1,000 or 2,000, and you're trying to sell it for two grand, for 3,000 or 4,000. So that's a very nice margin. Like you double your money right away.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you have to do a lot of work. Doing those deals. You could start with that. It's very good, but once you progress, I suggest you highly go to the higher margins, which means you buy a land for uh 10,000 or 20 grand, and then you can sell it for 50 or 40. And with that margin, a lot of people are able to help you, like the realtors, the title company, and a lot of people will help you in the process that actually make the process easier. And that's what happened to your first deal, right? You bought it for,
Absolutely.
yeah. How much you bought it for? 6,000?
6,000. I grabbed that first deal for 6,000. And man, just like you're saying, Ray, I've spoken with realtors and I've keyed in on one in particular who's helping me out. Like you say, he's doing most of the legwork for me.
Correct. And imagine you bought that land for 1,000 and you try to sell it for 3,000. Do you think that realtor will care about you? Probably not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
Right.
Man, this is some great stuff, Ray. I know a lot of people have heard about land and lots, but it's kind of just been something that people are really not, really diving into. Do you have any idea why people are kind of afraid to approach land?
I think it's the same with everything. Probably the fear of unknown. But I would say just do something and get the ball rolling. You cannot get the whole picture at the beginning. Nobody can, right? So a lot of people think I have to know the whole process and then I will do something. That's the wrong approach to do business. The right approach is I love to do this and I hire a mentor of some sort or who have already done that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tell me what to do. I do exactly what he told me. So that's the right way to do it. And in the process, of course, you progress yourself. Maybe you can change the system, but that's only after you are already successful. At first, if you don't know anything about land or even houses, right? Just find someone who already done that, been there, and ask him what to do next, right? And you do that.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. And guys, like I say, Ray is the man. So make sure that you check out the link in the description so that you can reach out to Ray and get a hold of him and see what he's got to say. because you can definitely spend a lot of time on YouTube University. And we don't necessarily say that you can't figure it out, but it's just a longer struggle. It's a longer road. You're going to make a lot of more mistakes, and you're going to pay one way or another. So, like Ray is saying, do you want to pay for the mistakes, or do you just want to pay for the information or the instruction, should I say, to get you to where you're trying to go? I say go with number two. Pay for that instruction.
Correct, 100%.
Ray, what's your biggest why, brother? Why are you doing this? Why you do this every day?
You mean the teaching or the land?
The both the land and the teaching. Why are you in real estate? Period. Why don't you just go ahead and retire, man? You're making a ton of money. Why not just kind of chill out?
I guess first of all, it's not a lot of money because all my friends making more than me, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not an exaggeration. But they're awesome. They guide me, motivate me, and I think the reason why I love land is you can do it basically from anywhere. Sometimes I don't even get out of my house for like 3 days, so you can do it in front of the computer, and if you are in out of country, you can still do that. Me and my wife went to Bahamas for a week. We closed 2 deals. That basically double, uh, you know, make our money back for the trip, right? For the
Mm-hmm.
whole trip and more. So that's why I love land. And the second thing why I'm teaching is, a lot of people ask me, why do you even teach? Will that create a lot of competition? Which could be, but the thing is, you know better of the things you're teaching. So if you want to learn something more, the best way is to teach. So, I know I have a lot of things to learn on the land space. And when I teach, I actually grow myself. And at the same time, the students inspire me to do something more. And just for example, one of my students chose. I told him how to choose a market. He chose a market in Arizona. A couple of days later, he found a better market. He said, "I'm going to go to the second market." I said, "Fine, you can go to the second market. They're both good." I asked him, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yes, I want to go to the second market." So, okay, I told him, "I'm going to go to the first market you chose, the
Mm-hmm.
market you first chose, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So that was exactly what I did. I mailed to the whole the county. I got 11 deals from 4 sellers, and today I got two under contract. So I bought it for 1900 sorry, 1600 each, and that guy is going to pay about 4 grand each.
Nice.
So that's another, some benefit you can really see, right? There are a lot more. I mean, not only money. My money is the least to the blessing I'm gonna receive. In the process of helping people, it is so satisfying.
I would agree, brother, 100%. You made some great points, especially by surrounding yourself with great people. I mean, me and you are in a lot of similar masterminds and groups together. And we, like you say, I know that we know a lot of the same people. And, there's a lot of inspiration for us out there. So that is huge, brother. And I love your spirit of wanting to not just help yourself, because I asked you, I said, hey, you've gotten, some success here. Why not just, retire, keep it all to yourself? And you hit the nail right on the head. It's because you want to help others achieve the same success that you've achieved.
Correct. And I know how it felt when is you don't have money, and so I don't want to be there anymore. I don't want anyone to be there. So I just use it as a gift to bless people.
Nice, nice. So with that being said, Ray, what do you think life would be like if you never would have found real estate and you were still in your past job at the car dealership?
We made a very good living in the car dealership.
Mm-hmm.
We made about 30, sometimes 40 grand each month.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is never ending. Very tiring, and you got to fix the cars every day, and you got to think about where's my next deal. So it just the profit the maximum profit on car I made on one single car was 4,000. That's it. I have doing cars for more than 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the highest I can make.
Wow.
So, but what about real estate, right? I bought a land a couple months ago for 70,000. I sold it for 150 grand. So how many years of cars you have to sell?
That's
to
a lot
get
of
one
cars.
deal?
That's a lot of
Right.
cars, Ray.
That's a lot of cars, yes.
Man, this has been an awesome episode, brother. And we have made it to what I call the rapid fire session. You know, this is where I'm going to ask you a question and you tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents?
Very strict.
So we'd say they're on a 10.
Get up. My dad is 9. My mom is about 3.
Okay. Get up early or stay up late?
Very early, about 6.
Okay. How many hours of sleep do you get?
Very minimum, about 6 or less.
Okay. Favorite or last book read?
Think and Go Rich.
Okay. If you could be any superhero, Ray, who would it be?
Probably Ant-Man.
Okay.
Like you can be anywhere, you know.
Big or small, nice. Something everyone should do less of.
Something what?
Something that everyone should do less of.
Eating less junk food.
Something that everyone should do more of.
Exercise and making more offers.
Nice. Bitcoin, bang or bust?
Bitcoin?
Yep, Bitcoin.
Bang. Yeah.
Okay, bang. If you had one wish, Ray, what would it be?
If I have one what?
One wish.
Oh, one wish. Okay. I wish everyone can be happy.
Man, that is a good one. That is a good one. Ray, do you have any final thoughts that you want to leave with our audience before we get out of here today?
I would say just never give up. And another thing is always focus on one thing. Because even in real estate, there are a lot of different niches, right? You can do apartments, you can do flip on real estate, you can do rentals, you can do land, of course. Even in land, there are a lot of niches. You can do term sale, you can do wholesale, you can do flip, you can do subdivide, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just stay on one niche and become the pro, and then you can choose another one. So, but don't try to do everything at the same time. That could be my wish.
Nice. I like that, Ray. How can our audience reach you and get more information on what you do?
If they want to ask any questions, which I'm very open to answer, you can add my Instagram.
Okay.
My Instagram is virtual flip land. So virtual flip land, one word.
Okay. Perfect. And I'll make sure to include a link of that in the description as well. Man, Ray, I want to thank you so much for coming on today's show and sharing so much valuable information with my audience, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Zhang. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, to our listeners out there, you guys have made it to the end of the show. So give yourselves a pat on the back because most people never finish what they start, and you just did. Now, if you got any value out of today's show, please share it with a friend or on your Facebook page. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and send us topics that you want to learn more about. So until the next episode, you can catch me on any one of my social media platforms. I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Zhang.
With this crown on my head, I'm seated on the throne. The top is so alone. Only thing that keeps me going is I know my city love me. I know my city love me. I know my city love me. I know my city love me.